Hello viewers, you're welcome to the Beton Show, and my guest today is Timo Lahti. Timo Lahti is from Crazy Town and is sales expert. I should say it like that because he has so much experience in that field, and also he's more of also kind of like a business connector to try to facilitate companies and talent in the region of Tampere and also other places in Finland. And Timo is my guest today. And
hello.
Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, it was kind of like, I think it's should I say a long journey to bring you here. Or kind
really?
of.
Oh. I think I'm really easy person to find.
Okay.
Just go over to Postitalo and you can find me there almost.
Okay. Okay.
But anyways, it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah.
As you have already been interviewing me and some of Crazy Town members.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Like Petola, Nia,
yeah.
And I wish to interview more of Crazy Town.
And William has been here as well.
Yeah, William has been here also. Yeah.
Great guys, and really fortunate to have great persons like that on board Crazy Town.
Yeah.
It's after all the people who make the place, right?
Yeah.
So you can build walls and you can make fancy furniture and paintings and so on.
Yeah.
But at the end, it's almost the people who make the place.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Once again, you are welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I see you. I should say you are like the lion of Crazy Town.
Well. If you want to put it that way, I'm responsible for our sales, and I'm involved in the growth of Crazy Town as well. And now lately, I'm trying to put some effort in We Plus Facilitator in Helsinki as well, as that's one of the business centers that we operate on behalf of others.
Okay.
So many irons in the heat at the same time.
Okay. I mean, maybe we are moving fast because I think you have to tell our viewers like who is Timo and what do you do, something like that.
Yeah, well,
I know we are moving fast, but I mean, kind of like let's come back a little bit and let my viewers know who you are. I mean,
So I'm a sales director here at Crazy Town Business Communities. We operate in Pori, Jyväskylä, Hämeenlinna, Tampere. And our fifth location is now then We Plus at Facilitator in Helsinki. And altogether in this network of growth-seeking businesses, we are talking about 250 plus some different VAT numbers.
Okay.
And then there are both entrepreneurs and companies, rather big ones as well, with several tens of employees.
Okay.
A very good mixture.
Yeah. People will hear about Crazy Town. They think, maybe people will go there, or people like who are in Crazy Town, maybe crazy people or something like that. But I think maybe it's more of the idea, like kind of like, okay, when you get the name Crazy Town, you are like curious. What is it about this place?
Well, the name has a really long history. As Crazy Town started in 2003 in Jyväskylä.
Okay.
And in the first place, when they were starting up the center, somebody visited the place and said that, hey, this environment looks really crazy. So that's where the name came from, Crazy Town, because it's a place where people are perhaps a little bit crazy. That's at least what we want them to be.
Yeah.
From craziness, a certain amount of craziness brings out good ideas.
Good ideas, yeah, for sure. You have to move from one step, like, when you have an idea, it sounds crazy, but the end point, it becomes like something good.
Exactly. Yeah. So Star Trek fans especially are welcome as members.
Yeah. So, Crazy Town, what do you guys do there? What's it all about?
Yeah. So we do a lot of different things, actually. But first, I can mention that we are renting out workspaces. Co-working space, dedicated workspace, and offices in different sizes. And on top of this, what makes us a little bit different perhaps in this market is that we put a lot of emphasis on the fact that we want people, entrepreneurs and companies to network, to collide, and to do things together.
Okay.
So one entrepreneur could perhaps find a company and and they join forces.
Okay.
And they do things together. So the idea is, after all, that anybody who comes to us can make more business than they did before.
Okay.
Before they enter a Crazy Town.
Okay. I mean, it's like you guys have partners that you partner with, that people who are in the ecosystem benefit from those partners. Is that what you're saying?
Well, patents.
Partners like you.
Partners, of course. Yeah, we're trying to create partnerships between these different people.
Okay.
So if I know a brilliant coder, for instance, let's say that he's really good in 3D imaging, for instance, and then I know some company around the network at Crazy Town in some other city or Tampere who's looking for a person who is good in 3D imaging. Of course, then I collide them with each other, and together they can make more business than they did before.
Okay.
So this is one of our main ideas.
Okay. But this kind of like places, like open space, and trying to link to connect entrepreneurs and other businesses, together. I mean, what makes Crazy Town different from other open space that try to connect people?
Yeah, it's a good question. We're trying to do things the way they have been done in Crazy Town US since 2003, and we're trying to follow the same model. One of the main things is, for instance, our Friday morning coffees. All members are welcome to join at 9 o'clock. This happens every Friday at 9 o'clock.
Okay.
One coffee event for the community where people can chat, meet with each other, perhaps give each other business leads. And sometimes we have speakers from outside, but mostly we are using Crazy Town members as speakers because they're all experts in some field.
Okay.
It can be programming, it can be social medias, it can be business law, it can be financing and so on. So we bring these people on stage every Friday.
Okay.
And by doing this, we are learning from each other. So if you keep your ears open and eyes open at the stage area, you can't avoid it. You are learning new things constantly just by joining and being there.
Okay.
And those people who are most into these networking events, they are perhaps also the persons who make the most money out of it, because they can sell products, sell services, and find new partners.
Okay.
This is basically the main thing that we want to do.
Okay.
And as far as I know, we are putting much more emphasis in these actions than any business hotel, for instance, does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Viewers, if you are just coming right now from, maybe you were at work, or maybe you were somewhere and you meet your friends or family, watching us talking about, business and something like that.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know, this is Timo Lahti, and he's from Crazy Town. He's sales director there in Crazy Town, and also he's involved in so many things there, trying to network talent and other companies internationally, and also trying to work on different projects in Tampere to boost the ecosystem, to bring more entrepreneurs together, to see how they can work together, for the purpose of growth, grow more in the region.
Yeah, this is one of the other things that we work very, very hard on, is we want to identify companies who are growth seeking, and especially companies who are interested in going abroad.
Yeah.
When we identify their needs and what markets they're interested in, then we can bring in international talents who can support their growth.
Okay.
And this is one of the projects, Tampere Commerce, that we're working on now.
Yeah, talent.
And
yeah.
Well, yeah, this we identify companies who are seeking for growth, and on the other hand, we are looking for people, non-Finns mostly, who have expertise from different markets. It can be from Africa, Latin America, Australia, wherever. And when we have these two parts, then we try to collide them and create new business and new workplaces and so on.
Okay. So if you are a small business, or maybe you are an individual who kind of have this international knowledge about investing or trying to network other companies with Finland, you can get in touch with Timo and
exactly.
and see what come out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the large companies doesn't face these same problems at all.
Yeah, because they always have the network.
Yeah, they have the networks ready, and they have headquarters here in Finland. They have subsidiaries, offices worldwide. So, that's not a problem. The problem is to help the startups and the small and medium-sized companies to find new markets abroad, because that's where welfare comes from. To Finland, people get new jobs and so on. And what I have noticed here in Tampere, we have truly amazing people here.
Yeah,
but they don't find the companies, like experts, really skilled guys and ladies from different nationalities from different countries. But the companies and these people, they just don't find each other.
Yeah.
They don't meet anywhere, for instance.
So what do you think is the reason for this? You know, this kind of like obstacles in networking with these companies and people.
Yeah, it's time. One of the obstacles is of course time.
Time, okay.
Yeah, that's one of the big ones. Companies do not have time to participate in events, for instance, as they perhaps did earlier. Now what they want to do is that they want a list of persons that they can go through and see if there's interesting persons there, and then call them up and ask them for an interview to see if they want to do it, like, not in events anymore. They are more into doing it when they have the time.
Okay. We have been talking about business, sales, and something like that, networking. But for any company to survive, they have to sell their product. They do. So I mean, you have been in this department for a long time. I mean, you can best give some of the tips or kind of like advice or most obstacles first that most startups face in terms of sales and something like that. What are some things
one thing that is very common, and I see this often, is that if we have a company with high-tech skills, mobile applications or ICT, coding of some type, these people who are working with these projects or these products, they are often engineers or hardcore ICT guys who are good in programming.
Okay.
But if they have a group of, let's say, 1 to 5 persons, there are nobody there taking care of marketing and sales.
Okay.
So they are coding and doing stuff, and perhaps a high burn rate if they have already secured money from business agents. Yeah. But then with the biggest problem is often the marketing and sales.
Okay.
Because they would need more sales crew and better salespersons to help them. And if the market is abroad, the main market for the product, if it is abroad, then it would be a very wise decision for them to hire people who know the market where they are going.
Okay.
So this is a place especially then for non-Finns.
Yeah. So it's kind of like to get the appropriate people, the people to actually do the job internationally is one of the barriers, like that you mentioned.
Yes.
If I understood.
Yeah. You may have an excellent team if you look at it from a technical perspective.
Okay.
But then if you bring in things like sales and marketing and market knowledge and cultural knowledge of different countries, then it's often a little bit worse.
I think this goes to my next question. It helps us to take my next question. Like, it's part of like how to think creatively. Like, for a company to think creatively, they have to try to see what they can do more to meet up the needs in places where they have difficulties. Like what you mentioned, getting someone else. Like for example, if there's a team of only Finns, I mean, want to go to Germany or maybe like France.
Yeah, it's really difficult.
You need someone from France or Germany to help.
They need native skills in order to conquer a market. Okay. I've seen this many times, and it's that's the way it is. You need international talents if you want to go international.
Yeah, but in Finland, most companies are still trying to get this idea of bringing in international talent in their team.
Yeah.
But they kind of like holding back. I mean, you have any idea why most companies are holding back, or maybe they don't trust international talents or something like that?
Yeah. It could be really simple things like before any internationals join your team, your communication is basically in Finnish.
Yeah.
It's very convenient and very easy for everybody, and you don't have to make any efforts really to communicate. But as soon as you bring in or bring on board people who do not speak Finnish, then it changes the gameplay at once. All your communication after that has to be in English, of course, so everybody understands.
Okay.
But then this should be something that startups, when younger people do this all the time, but they should be prepared to communicate in English anyway, already from the start. And that's something we see here at Tribe.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody here speaks English mostly.
Yeah.
And that is a very good good thing and a good tip actually. If you're going to create a startup and if you're going international, or your idea is to go international, start speaking English immediately.
English, yeah.
Make all your system in English and all your emails and newsletters and all the social media and whatever. Turn it to English immediately. It will be easier than in the future if you start training with it.
Okay. Which I experience dealing with startup companies and other companies which are not successful.
Yeah.
You know, what are the common mistakes that most startups make? You know.
Well, I think there are many fails, many ways to fail, but perhaps the revenue side is one thing where many companies fail. From the start, you have to have sales. Even if your product is not ready yet, you should have some customers ready to buy your product. So this is why the marketing and sales is so important. Already in the phase where perhaps you don't have anything ready yet to sell, the sales should anyway be going on all the time.
All the time. Yeah.
So when you launch the product, you already have some customers ready, and you can make revenues from as early on as possible.
That's possible, yeah.
Because I've seen it happen. Well, I don't want to mention any companies, but there was a couple of really high-tech companies at Tampere University of Technology, the TUT. Extremely skilled guys, brilliant products. But what they did was that they wanted to make the product the best possible. And by doing this and no sales at all, their burn rate was so high that they fall. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, like if I understood, this company they were trying to become perfect, like to make everything perfect.
Exactly.
And perfection is not like
they don't want to sell anything before it's perfect.
Perfect, yeah.
But that's the wrong way.
Yeah.
That's the wrong way. You should be able to sell your product even if it's in development phase.
Yeah.
But just tell the customers, hey guys, we are fixing small issues and bugs all the time.
Yeah.
But this is the product and this is the price.
Yeah,
Let's make a deal.
Yeah.
Because it's always better to have these early on customers, because then you have at least some income from your company.
Yeah, but do you think that this idea is more of kind of like the Finnish traditional type? Like I know Finnish people always want to do things like because when a Finnish man says you do something, then they will do it. Like they want to do it so good. I mean, do you think it's kind of like the reason why they are scared also to go outside and like to meet competition with other companies?
Yeah. This is something I've heard and read some articles. The biggest differences between Swedish and Finnish startups. Swedes are much more aggressive when it comes to sales.
Okay.
And Finns want to polish and make it definitely so brilliant that nobody else has a good product. This is the best ever in the universe.
Yeah.
And by this, the Swedes have already started to sell a similar product. It's perhaps simpler, perhaps not as sophisticated, but at least they're making money on it already, and then they can fix bugs later on. Okay. So they enter the market in the early phase. And I don't know if this is changing or not, but this has been at least a problem here in Finland. Let's think, guys, and let's make this excellent.
Excellent.
Yeah. We have time to market next year. We have time to sell next year. Let's concentrate on the products.
Okay.
So this can be, this can be dangerous.
If you are joining us right now, this is Timo Lahti from Crazy Town, Tampere, and he is the sales director of Crazy Town, and also known as the Lion of Crazy Town, something like that.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, it's not the kind of a lion.
That's a new title.
A jungle, you know, something like that. But you know, I mean, you talk about, you mentioned something before, like the Hollywood economic phenomenon, something like that.
Yeah. This is something that is growing really rapidly in Europe. We're talking about something called the Hollywood economy. And we can actually see this happen at Crazy Town here in Tampere, other centers on a daily basis. If you think of a movie when somebody starts to make a new movie, then you take the cameraman, the editors, the stuntmen, the actors from different places. They can come from all over the world.
Yeah.
They join up to make the movie. When it's ready and edited and all that, then these people, they just vanish.
Yeah.
They just poof. Yeah. And then they perhaps never meet physically anywhere.
Yeah.
But then when the next movie starts, then they appear again.
Yeah.
Perhaps not the same guys, but almost the same guys.
Yeah.
The same editors, the same filmmakers, and the same producers and so on. And then they make the next movie.
Okay.
And then they disappear again.
Yeah.
And this phenomena can be seen in the business world as well.
Okay.
As entrepreneurs and small companies join forces to be able to sell and do something larger that they could do by themselves.
Okay.
So this is compare this to Hollywood way of doing things. So for instance, Business Tampere, they can have a big project.
Yeah.
I can't do it myself, and you can't do it by yourself.
Yeah.
Or there could be many other entrepreneurs here. They can't do that project by themselves, but joining forces, then they could.
So how do you think that people in Tampere or in Finland generally are going to welcome? I mean, or is it kind of like new in I mean, okay, it's in Europe, but is it kind of like new in Finland?
It is. Well, I think this is the way to operate like this has been around forever, perhaps.
Yeah.
But it's more visible now when the big companies crumble.
Okay.
For instance, here Microsoft and Nokia and so on, they don't exist anymore. But the people who worked there, they worked with similar things now, but in smaller units.
Okay.
Perhaps like entrepreneurs or in smaller companies. We, for instance, at Crazy Town Tampere, we have, I would say, around 10 companies, startups coming from Nokia and Microsoft.
Okay.
And the guys say that, hey, we're doing exactly the same things that we did before.
Okay.
But now we're charging for it by ourselves.
Okay.
But this Hollywood economy system, I think it has been around actually for ages and forever. But it's more visible now.
Okay.
As the amount of entrepreneurs is like exploding.
Okay.
So
I mean, to you in general, I know you have talked about this a little bit in your conversation, and I just want to insist again about this. You know, it's kind of not insisting like we pose the question to you. I mean, to you, what do you think growth is all about? Growth, when they say someone is growing, I mean, just the word growth. How can you analyze that when it comes to a startup companies or personally someone who is trying to do something now? How can you analyze growth on that person or on their business?
it's a growth.
Yeah, growth.
Yeah. Well, of course, what I like when I see people and companies use lean methods, where you start to think about the money in a very early phase. You're constructing something, thinking about making a new application and so on. You go out on the streets.
Yeah.
You ask people. You have perhaps something on a paper, or you have some kind of mock-up. You can show them that, hey, we are thinking about making a product like this. If it works like this and that and so on, what would you pay for it, or would you pay anything for it?
Mm.
Based on these questionnaires and discussions with people around, you can get a pretty good picture of your product. Is it unique? Does it help somebody? And is it possible to monetize?
Okay. Yeah.
So basically, in an early phase, start asking questions about end users or those you think this product could solve some problems for.
Okay.
That is something. Don't sit in your own office or in the basement or in the garage and make a product without asking people, do you need anything like this?
And if you do something like that, then nothing will grow anyway. I mean, it will be stuck somewhere.
Because that's a very good way to spend money and get your company in problems. Is by don't discuss with anybody, keep silence, hide in a garage, and do something. Yeah, and then when you have been polishing it for a year or two, all your money is gone, and then you try to come out to the market, and then you see that there are similar products all around, or better ones.
Yeah.
So always keep a dialogue with the end user in every phase of the development. That could be one good tip.
I know. I mean, most of your colleagues or maybe partners, you know, like we at one point watched. I mean, this interview, and what can you mention? Because I don't know if say your partners or your colleagues or maybe people you work with, they are interested in the African market. So what knowledge do you have about the African market?
I'm afraid to say that most companies in this area have very, if any, knowledge of Africa. It's a huge continent, many differences in between countries, but we don't know anything about the continent really.
Yeah.
We have some commercial agents here in the Tampere area who are searching for companies that they could bring into the African markets. And at least one of these guys told me that Egypt is the entry point to Africa. So if you can get your products or services to Egypt and get them to sell and to establish a market there, then it's easier to enter the rest of Africa, as you can use the Egypt market as a reference.
Okay.
This is hearsay. I don't know if it's a fact, but then I know also some companies, some of them are bankrupt already, that tried to enter the African markets using Africa Business Angels Network, using different local businessmen as help to enter. But it seems to be really difficult.
Yeah.
And the risks are high.
They're like, you know, why I mentioned this is because many companies, or as you mentioned, don't have any have understanding of the African market. And the African market 5 years ago is not the African market now.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah,
many things are changing. You know, the political realm is changing. You know, people's mind are changing. People are now more open to foreign development. And I think the entry point to Africa is any African country that are welcoming development. You know, if say any African country, like for example, want to partner with not only countries, but I'm talking about communities. Because it's like in Finland, you have Tampere, you have Helsinki. I mean, these communities, they try to see how they can develop their own communities. And also, it's the same thing in Africa. I mean, if say those communities are willing to develop their region and also their environment, then I think it's going to be easy for any person who can meet their needs, the need of that community to come in and
it would be. I'm absolutely sure that it would be a win-win situation if we could collide African nations, cities, countries with companies from Finland, Tampere, or somewhere else, because we have high-tech solutions and we are pretty good in green tech and waste management and recycling and all this. And for sure, there could be products in great demand in Africa as well. But to make the connection there, it's really, really difficult. And then Finns are really, they're a little bit suspicious, careful, and they want to avoid risks. And so you have to find reliable people.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
With Africa, it's always risk. But the risk, it depends on if because I see most companies in the Western world who don't understand the market. Because, for example, if you look at the French companies and also the American companies, even Chinese companies, they use the Africans. I mean, in the most of the positions there. Exactly. I mean, like the first use the people to be in front. But if say you want to go and get information to open to be the forefront of your business there, then it's going to be difficult for you because the culture is different from the culture of your own region. The people are different, so you need someone who understands the people and how to communicate and so.
And this is also a good example of a case where a Finnish growth-seeking company who's interested in Africa should perhaps hire local people in an early phase to take care of the business and who know the cultural stuff and so on. So and actually we have had some discussions with Afro Finns about this. Yeah, I think it was last winter, 2018, before Christmas. We had some discussions on how we could well, if there's something we could do about this.
Yeah, there's lots you could do about it. I mean, just about talking about it and to find common ground, because I believe it's just about to look for a common ground to see how we can work together and to make it happen. Because I know that Finland, I see Finland with a lot of potential. I mean, in terms of technology and environmental solutions, stuff like that. And Africa is a growing economy, and Africa does definitely needs this technology. And if say you have a product and there's somewhere you want people to enjoy your product, you have to go to the developing countries to see how you can market your product there.
I don't really have any answer on how it could be done, but somebody should come up with a way. How these companies here could find their way to for instance, Africa. It's a very fast-growing country, and the middle class is growing fast. More money to use. And I would guess that Scandinavian products have a high value, and the brand,
for sure.
The brand is
for sure. For sure, especially in Finland. I mean, like there's one project that I was working on, that I'm still working on, to try to market Scandinavian product in Africa. You kind of like have a marketplace where you can market Scandinavian product in Africa and African products in Scandinavia. Kind of like a win-win situation to see that gateway. But as you mentioned, it's kind of like you need to bring all the players in to see how we can work together and make it happen. But when we're talking about Africa, there are many people also watching you. They need maybe they want to start their own business. Or maybe like they are like thinking, okay, it's so difficult for me to do this. Or maybe people who are already into business and they have companies, but they are going through this, like different problems from here to that angle, trying to fix things. So what can you say to these people or these companies who are trying to grow?
Well, if you're interested in starting your own business, then first think if you want to do it by yourself or if you want to create a team around. If you have good friends or people with skills that could be beneficial for your start, try to build up a team. Or if you are a specialist in some fields, perhaps you can do it by yourself. Start as an entrepreneur. It's always easier because then you don't have to ask anybody else about their opinions. You're free to do as you wish if you're alone. As soon as you're starting to create a team, there can be some personal problems within the team and so on. And this is something that Ossi Numminen, who is often here at Prime as well, he speaks about this problem that if the team is not focused on the same issues, then many startups fail because of this. People come and go, they don't believe in the idea perhaps enough. But find a dedicated team and start using lean methods in an early phase. And then of course, where to find money. So speaking with business angels is always one thing worth trying. and also business angels who can bring in sweat equity.
Okay.
So they can come in as mentors, perhaps, in your company. They can bring in money, but they can also bring their own skills and their own network.
No.
And this is something that it's even better than just money.
Just money, yeah.
And I've heard this from many startups, that they are more interested in a sweat equity investor who brings in both money and his own time and networks than only plain money.
Yeah, that's great. That's powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, we have heard him all. And what he has mentioned, I believe that most of startup companies or people who are engaged in business or people who have ideas can see themselves, doing something like this to be in order to be successful. And also, I believe that people can also reach you, for one-on-one advice if you have time.
Of course. Yeah, well, we are doing that quite a bit. It's pro bono stuff, of course. People contact me. They want advice. Where can I find this? Where can I find that? And I get a lot of CVs as well. And I try to help people when I can. It's nice, and yeah.
Also, don't forget, this might be your way in,
So Tampere Commerce.
It can be your way in. You can come here and try to see how you can network and to grow.
Yeah, and I can deliver the links.
The links,
to the CV program, for instance, where international people can fill in their CV and then are becoming visible for companies in this area.
Yeah. So the link will be below the video. You can go there and get all the information you need to get started with the networking and stuff. Yeah. And also, I mean, I'm happy that you guys joined us today. This is the end of the show, and I'm really happy. Yeah. I mean, what you have mentioned here today is so much information, so much content that
it's really nice to be a part of this.
Yeah. Thanks so much for being part of the show. Yeah.
Thank you for inviting me. And I can be found at Crazy Town in Postitalo. And if you are a startup in the early phase, then you should definitely come to this place. Try. Yeah, and Tribe is moving to Åkerlundinkatu after summer, where the new facilities will be constructed. Be visible, talk to people, communicate, ask questions. Would you buy this? What would you pay for it? Bring your business idea out in the open.
Yeah.
And by doing that, you will get hints and tips and tutoring and perhaps some money as well, and feedback for the business case. And at least if you are Finnish, then there's an organization called Ensimetri here, and then they can go through your business plans. If you're English, there might be some place. I don't know if Ensimetri does it, but here when you speak with the Tribe guys, they can
help you.
Tell you where to go.
What to do.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, if we're not talking here, we're not talking all day, but now we have to stop. Yeah. It was so nice to have Timo here in the show, and guys, it's all about you waking up your ass and go there and try to see what you can do. Don't sleep on your ideas. Don't sleep on what you're doing. Try to see how you can network yourself. Ask people. Try to talk to people about your ideas, as he mentioned. Try to see how you can communicate and reach out to people. That's how you can grow your business. That's how you can network with people, and that's how you can learn new ideas. As also we are talking to here in the show, I've learned so much from the ideas and get to know more information about what is happening in Tampere, crazytown, and other places in Finland.
And if you are interested in starting your own business, then come around to places like Tribe. There's a lot of people here looking for opportunities. Perhaps people who would gladly join a startup. So this is the place where you can find people like that. And also, of course, Crazy Town. We have different events and so on.
And we are broadcasting from Tribe Tampere anyway. Maybe soon we start broadcasting from Crazy Town.
We could easily do that.
Yeah. Okay.